So this particular video number 3 is going to be about setting the mood for productive note taking. It's crucial to think about the environment and your location because the environment can affect you positively, negatively. It can slow you down, or within the right location can help speed things up and can affect your brain. So that's why these things are crucial before we actually jump right in, because I want to make sure that you're able to take things efficiently, take notes, and retain the right knowledge. So moving on, the environment or setting helps a big deal to make sure that basically distractions are minimized and your focus is sharper. So if you think about, for example, if you're taking notes at home, it's going to be very, very helpful if you sit by the window because you got the sun shining in your face. It's giving you vitamin D, which helps you wake up, and it's going to really help you out. Now, if you sit in the dark and you're taking notes, or worse, maybe you're sitting on your bed, then your mind is going to think, well, I'm sleepy and so forth, and it's just not going to be as productive. So you can see why the environment is so crucial. So another thing that I would recommend besides sitting by the window, if all possible, is to get some indoor plants if you don't have, workspace by a window, because indoor plants actually can really, really help you out. So what you can do is there are many, many different plants out there that will actually clean your air. And I'm not really going to talk about that today, but if you go to Google and you just type in like the top 10 indoor plants that clean air, you'll find some, and I recommend that you go to your local hardware store or local plant store that has these types of plants and simply put them inside of your home, because having fresh air gives you more oxygen, and having light that is shining on you is definitely going to help you out. Now, let's say, for example, you live in a place that is not sunny at all. If that's the case, then you might want to invest money into some sort of sun lamp. You can go to Google as well, or go to Amazon, or whatever store that is near you, and typically you can find these types of lamps that will basically mimic UV rays and will really help you in waking up. So that's the whole goal here, is helping you wake up and also getting that fresh air flowing through your room. If you do that, it's going to help you retain the knowledge. It's going to be able to help you to take better notes and more. Now, of course, if that's not possible as well and you can't find these things, then that's fine. Another thing that you can do that works pretty well is by getting photos of nature. So of mountains, of waterfalls, or even get something that has that sound, because that'll help you de-stress, relax, remove that anxiety, and unwind for a clutter-free mind. So having these things, really the goal is to really help clear your mind, help you de-stress, help remove the anxiety, and help you focus so that your mind is sharper. So that's really the goal here. Now, no matter where you are, whether at a coffee shop, in a meeting, or in an office, you want to clean your desk, because a clutter-free workspace will lessen your distraction. It doesn't matter if you are disorganized and you know where everything is. Psychologically, what's going to happen is it's going to impact your mind. Now, if you notice, typically, most people, when they work at places, if they find like a clean area or whatever, their mind is going to typically gravitate towards those clear, clean, organized areas. And sometimes your office is so messy that you find yourself in your living room, or if you have an office or a business office, you will find yourself maybe in the lunchroom. or in an area that is not as cluttered. Now, if you begin to notice yourself doing that, that is a clear sign that you need to make sure that you clean your desk. Now, if you're taking notes on your computer, you're going to want to minimize all other windows as well. You're also going to want to close down Facebook, log off Skype, log off other instant messaging type systems and social media sites so that you're really able to focus, because nothing is worse than having those distractions around you. Now, another thing is to take breaks. So now, obviously, if you are in a lecture, you're not going to be able to take breaks because you're taking notes. But if you are, for example, watching a video training course such as this one, what I would recommend that you would do is to work for 20 minutes or 25 minutes and then take 5-minute breaks and so forth. This specific strategy, what it will do is it will actually help you, create an agile mind, and so that you're really sucking all these knowledge in, you're retaining it, and then you take a break. And that way it gives your mind some time to take breaks. Now, I want to talk about key points to listening, because listening is also important. Using all these different senses is definitely important. So research suggests that we actually retain 25 to 50% of information that we hear. Now, that's kind of low. So that's why you're going to take crucial notes. You don't want to take all the notes because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, but you want to take a certain amount of notes. So understanding that you retain only 25 to 50% is not a lot of information. That's not 100%. You will need to take notes, but the right notes. So I'm going to talk later on about specific strategies and methods that you can use to take the notes. Now, that's why it's important to remove as many possible distractions as much as you can so that you can focus on more. If all possible, if you have an iPhone or an iPad or a smartphone, what you might want to do is, if they have some sort of do not disturb option or mode on the device itself, you might want to turn that on, because you don't really want distractions. Nothing distracts you more than somebody calling you and then you having to switch gears and multitask. Multitask does not work. That's a myth, because computers cannot multitask either. If you look at a computer, you'll notice that they cannot multitask. They just do things really fast, one at a time. So that's why you don't want to switch that focus. You want to be able to focus 100% on the lecture, on the webinar itself. Try to set aside other things you have in mind, and make sure your headset or your listening equipment that you might be using is all set if you are attending a call or webinar. That way you're done, you're focused, you don't have to switch your gears and get distracted. Now, the most critical distraction of all is not having an open mind. And what I mean by that is having set expectations is fine. But you want to make sure that you don't really have these preconceived notions or judgments that might impede your ability to grasp new concepts. So what I mean by that is, you don't want to expect the speaker, for example, to do certain things, because if they don't do certain things, you're going to get irritated, and that's going to present you with a potential confusion and roadblock and things like that. You don't want to have those preconceived notions. So in other words, they can basically lead you to misinterpreting what you hear. So even though you might be hearing something similar, you're assuming something else because you are expecting something else. So make sure that you don't have those preconceived notions when you enter a lecture, a webinar, and so forth. Now, that brings us to video number 4, where we are going to talk about specific strategies and specific note-taking methods that you can use and apply today. So we'll see you there.